Welcome to part 3 of our Chicago Bears Madden 23 rebuild series. We're coming off a 9-8 season. Overall, I would consider that a success. We didn't quite make the playoffs, falling just short in week 18. A win would have gotten us in, but we couldn't quite top the Packers, who went 15-2 with their rookie quarterback. Although, just like the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, did not translate into a Super Bowl win. So, with that being said, we're ready for the offseason. Let's get into free agency. Okay, so right off the bat, we have got a huge decision to make. And the reason I say that is Joe Burrow, a 98 overall quarterback, 27 years old, he is interested in us. We've got Justin Fields. We've got a high draft pick. There is a guy out of Indiana State who I like, and I grew up in Indiana, so I have some affinity for this guy. So, we kind of have a three-way conundrum here. Do we go with Fields, who has been okay but not spectacular? Do we go with Burrow, a known quantity? He's a 98 overall. We're already running the Bengals playbook, so he'll feel right at home. But he's going to want $50 million a year. That's going to severely hinder us. Or do we try and trade up and get the rookie? It's going to cost us for sure at least our first round pick this year. Justin Fields as well. I mean, that is a bit of a wash because we only want one quarterback regardless, but it might cost us even more. And do we know if that guy's going to be good? We really don't. So decisions. What do we do? So here's what Burrow wants, and this is probably why the Bengals didn't retain him. He wants paid. $352 million over 7 years, average of $50.3 million per year. If we sign him, it leaves us with a remaining $30 million in cap this year, but his cap hit is going to continue to climb. It's going to get all the way up to $52 million in 2028. Granted, I don't know if he'd still be around by then. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I am tempted, though. This is by far the hardest decision of the series that we will face. It really is 3 separate ways we could go here. Justin Fields, though, he's now hit age 25, which is where development does start to kind of fall off a cliff. So, do we really want to continue to invest into him? I think he's the least appealing of the 3 options right now, I'm not going to lie. Burrow, it's the price tag for me. The rookie, it's the uncertainty and the potential cost that it will take to go and get him. And Fields, it's just kind of the mediocrity, I'm not going to lie. And the fact that we are going to have to pay him here very shortly. He only has, a year or 2 left on his contract? He's entering, what will this make this? So he was a rookie, then we played his first year, his second year. He's entering year 3. So of course we could pick up his 5th year option, but I'm just not super excited by him at this point, I'm not going to lie. So the Texans, they've got the number 1 overall pick. Hypothetically, what would it take to get it? Because on the surface, Justin Fields, he's just 25. He's an 81 overall, star development. At risk of making this unrealistic, can we lowball them? Will the Texans take Justin Fields straight up for the number 1 overall pick? You know what? No, I feel dirty doing that. We'll say Justin Fields and a second. This is like in fantasy football when your friend offers you the 49ers defense and Harrison Butker for Cooper Kupp, and he's like, this trade actually helps you more than it helps me. Okay, so it's settled then. We're not going Joe Burrow. As much as I would love to, that would just put us in salary cap hell for years to come. I know that's probably the popular decision is to go with Burrow, but we got to think long term here as well. So we've got the number 1 overall pick, and we retain our first round pick, so that's important to note as well. Now let's get back into free agency. Now that we don't have to worry about spending all this money on a quarterback, who are we going to go after? Okay, so Jonah Jackson is a good starting guard in the NFL. He's interested in us, so let's start off with him. And like I said, he has decent interest in us. Cody Whitehair's on the left side. He's getting up there in age, though. We could easily move Jonah to the right side because Tevin Jenkins just was not working out there for us. We're going to go just a little bit above neutral. Try and lock him in here. He likes the contract. Okay, next we've got Ed Oliver, a very good player, young as well. I really like him. He likes us, so again, same thing with him. We're going to go up just a little bit from the neutral offer, see if we can secure his services. And we are trailing the Falcons, so we might need to upgrade this to player friendly. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so upgrading to player friendly. Let's see if that moves the needle a little bit for Ed Oliver, because I would really like to bring him in here. And we're neck and neck with the Falcons. Can we upgrade it just a little bit? It goes back to neutral. So we're going to go player friendly. And let's bump up the salary and the bonus just a little bit. Yeah, it might be a bit of an overpay, but I really would like to get Ed Oliver in here. I think he would really add something special to our defense. We're listed above the Falcons, same as we were before, so I'm content with that for the time being. I think we're pretty solid contenders for Ed Oliver at this point. Okay, so next we've got L'Jarius Sneed. He's interested in us. He's an 85 overall, still just 27. Let's offer him neutral, see what that does. And we're in the lead by a pretty solid margin. I would have to think that we're safe here. Let's see if we can even take down the money a little bit, save ourselves some cash. Okay, so it might be a bit of a risk, but we did decrease the offer by just a little bit, and we're still in the lead by a good margin. So I think we can safely say L'Jarius Sneed, we are his top pick at this point. Okay, so we do need a kicker, and who better to bring in than the GOAT, Justin Tucker. He has no interest in us at all. We're going to offer him a very player-friendly deal. What would this even come out to? A total of $7.5 million. Oof, that's a pretty big cap hit for a kicker, I'm not going to lie. We'll go player-friendly. I mean, he's a kicker at the end of the day. He doesn't seem to have any offers, but he would be a massive boost for us. Okay, yeah, so we're the top offer. I think we're safe to say Justin Tucker will be coming our way. And lastly, I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't love what we got out of our safety play last season. Tart was a bit of a bust signing for us, I'm not going to lie. He's 32 years old. John Johnson is still just 28. He is an 85 overall with star development. He likes us, so let's send him a neutral offer and see what that does. Okay, so we are top of his list by a pretty wide margin. I'm not going to mess with the numbers. I really would like to secure him. He'd be a huge upgrade for us. So let's go ahead and evaluate offers, see who we might have been able to bring in. Okay, so the players have evaluated the submitted offers. Who did we sign? Let's find out. Our signings, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like we brought everyone in that we were after. So massive win in free agency so far. We've got the GOAT at kicker. Ed Oliver is going to massively improve our defensive line. We should be getting much more sacks than we had been. L'Jarius Sneed will help the secondary, as will John Johnson. And we got a good starting guard for our rookie quarterback. I think it's decided at this point. We're going, I believe Leak is his name, out of Indiana State. I looked it up. The only Indiana State player I could find that's in the NFL right now is Robert Tonyan. So if there's more than that, let me know. But yeah, Leak is going to be the guy. And also at this point, I know that we're spending a good amount of money, but I would also like to look ahead to the future as well. See whose contracts might be expiring, see who might be a good trade candidate. Jalen Johnson is one for sure. I don't know if he's going to have any interest in us long term, and I think that we could get an absolute haul for him. So even though he's an amazing player, at the end of the day, if he doesn't like us, if we're going to have to severely overpay for him, we might as well send him somewhere where he can be happy, get some high picks, maybe some high value players out of it. So he's on the trade block. Jerry Jeudy, he's got 1 year left, but he plays a key position, just 25. He's worth paying. I think he'll want to stay with us, especially once a franchise quarterback is in place. Javonte, I'm going to throw on the trade block because running back is just not a position that I feel is really worth paying. Worst case, we might hold on to him for 1 more year. He might be a franchise tag candidate at this time next year, after which point we can trade him, look to find his replacement then. Who else has a year left? Isaiah Simmons. I really like Isaiah Simmons, so I'm not going to put him on the trade block. Cody Whitehair is getting up there in age, but we need all the help that we can get, honestly. Who else has 1 year left? Melvin Gordon. No one's going to want him. Tevin Jenkins. I know what I just said, but can you really call him help? However, the CPU probably will not look at it that way, as he's 26 with star development. However, we know what he is, and he is not good. Oh, he's already on the trade block, so we haven't been getting offers for him. The CPU must have done that, or maybe they did that just now since we brought in a lineman. That's a possibility, I suppose. Anyone else here who's maybe a little bit younger, valuable? Khalil Herbert. Maybe we throw him up on the block. I don't think anyone's going to really scramble for him. Oh, yeah, he's already there as well. So, yeah, no one wants Khalil. And here's who we've got left at free agency. We've got around 21 million left in cap space. So let's just take a look around. Is there anyone who's interested in us that might be worth picking up? Still no one is going after Joe Burrow. I would have to imagine it's got to be that price tag at this point. I mean, what if we were the only team to offer him? What if we go, is there a very team-friendly option? Very player-friendly, that's there. Team-friendly. What if we just... I mean, even if we lowball the living hell out of him, that's still going to make us negative, very negative. I mean, if we can just get down to about 0, I'll throw him an offer. I'm willing to do that. What if we stretch it out 7 years? Let's do that. I mean, that would be cool if we could do that. Then we've got the first overall pick. We would have 2 first-round picks. We could then look to flip the first overall pick. Unconventional, I know, but crazier things have happened, maybe. So let's keep going down here. Okay, so we got ourselves to a deal that leaves us with around $1.5 million in cap space. In theory, this would be an absolute bargain. I don't know if he's going to be interested, but at the same time, we don't have the salary cap. Okay, we're going to have to go even lower. Okay, so I tried going even lower. It was still saying we don't have the cap space. He still has 0 interested teams. Let's skip ahead to the next week, see if we got any trade offers on our guys that we threw on the block. Maybe we free up some space that way. We didn't have any offers come in, but we're going shopping here. Jalen Johnson hates us for some reason. He's already playing on the franchise tag. He's probably not even going to want to come back on a mega deal next offseason, so despite how great he is, let's see what we can get for him. So I wasn't necessarily loving the offers that I was getting for Jalen Johnson, so I remembered we have some staff points we can use here. We have not upgraded anything on our trade tree yet. We're going to go ahead and do that. We are going to do the discount for draft picks because ideally that's what I would like to trade for. I don't really want more players at this point. We're just going to keep going down the list. There's not a whole lot that I need to buy at this point unless quarterback is somewhere around here. It's probably going to be pretty far down. I doubt it's all the way down there. We can't afford that. There would have been no way to begin with. Guaranteed trade package for current user pick during the draft. That could come in handy for us. Non-X Factor players will be valued 1 depth trait higher. That's good. I believe he's a superstar, so that should help our case. And what else have we got here? 2% trade value increase for user players. Let's just spam that, upgrade that to the max. Okay, let's go see what we can get for him. So realistically, I had to find a team that not only could afford Jalen Johnson because so many teams mismanage their cap so poorly that most teams are now in the negative, hence why Joe Burrow is still available, but also a team that was good enough last year to where trading multiple first-round picks for a cornerback would make sense. And here you have the New England Patriots. They're picking 25th overall, so they had a pretty good year. Let's see if they'll give us that first and a future first. It's close. Let's see what we can throw in to make that happen. If we give them, let's say, a 3rd in this year's draft, will that do it for us? We're missing a 2nd. Don't love that. But we've got 2 firsts. Maybe we'll have 3 here. Not quite. What about a future 5th? Can I interest you in a future 5th? You got Tom Brady in the 6th. Think about that. Could be some value there. Not quite. What about a future 4th, since you want to play hardball? Possibly. I think this might do it. No. Okay. Yikes. So I decided to be a little less greedy, and that got the deal done for us. We get their first-round pick and a 2nd in 2025. So Jalen Johnson is out the door. He gets to go play for a team who, let's face it, Bill Belichick's not in Madden, but he really wants a coach with a winning record. Let's just pretend he's in there. He gets his wish. So Jalen Johnson, it was nice knowing ya. So with that out of the way, can we now afford Joe Burrow? Let's see if we can. Okay, so 7 years, 101 million, all things considered a bargain for Joe Burrow. Will it let us make this offer? Yes, it will. Will he take it? That's the next question. We're the only team out here, we're the only one that can afford you, or at least the only one who can afford you and want to pay you anything. Is it good enough? No? Okay, what if we try again? I know you don't love it, but beggars can't be choosers. Joe Burrow is a Chicago Bear. So not only that, we've got the number 1 overall pick. So a little goofy on my part. The realism is out the window at this point. But to be fair, I never said it was going to be realistic. We just called it a rebuild. And look at that, Joe Burrow elevates us. We are up to an 85 overall, and we have got so much draft capital this year and next from the Jalen Johnson trade. Let's go. Now this is a team that can win some football games. Joe Burrow is our missing piece. X Factor, 99 overall quarterback. And I mean, just look at this offense. There's one hole that I can see, right guard. With all of the picks that we have, we can easily fill that hole. We've got both of our tackle spots taken care of. We added Jonah Jackson, so an upgrade at guard. Our receiving core is just fine. Demarius Priester is on the rise. Even with Darnell Mooney out the door, I'm not worried. You've got one of the best tight end duos in the league with Cole Kmet and Evan Ingram. And over on the defensive side of the ball, we're pretty much set there. Ed Oliver is going to add a huge element to our pass rush. He is boosted up to a 92 overall. So you add him, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcus Davenport. Good luck opposing quarterbacks. This linebacking trio might be the best in the league. And our secondary is actually not bad. Even after trading away Jalen Johnson, L'Jarius Sneed and Mike Hughes, you can do a lot worse than that as your starting corner duo. John Johnson gives us a legit free safety. Jaquan Brisker is a stud. I'm happy with this team, and we still have the draft left to go. There is a mock draft out, and unfortunately, as of right now, it is having us take Devin Leak out of Indiana State. A big part of me would have loved to have done that. Just the fact that you've got a guy from Indiana State projected to go number 1 overall, I like that a lot. I wish him the best no matter where he goes. Maybe we get a nice package, someone wants to trade up. And whoever wrote this mock draft is an idiot. Did Mel Kiper put this together? We've got 2 first-round quarterbacks. Yeah, right. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. And I could have sworn that... Okay. We have 2 first-round picks. I don't know why I was thinking we had 3, but we have 2. Okay. The final mock draft is out, and they have us taking a right tackle, Sammy DeMonchi, at number 1 overall. I doubt that happens. I'm starting to wonder. We might be a good trade back candidate. I might have jumped the gun a little bit, trading up to number 1 overall. I really thought Burrow was going to get offers. I know that in years of Madden's past, you would get to a point about 2-3 years in where teams just run out of money because they're not strategic, they don't manage the cap at all, they're all in the negatives. So by the time these blue chip players are hitting the market, no one can afford them. However, I really thought EA would have addressed that. That's on me for giving EA the benefit of the doubt. Here's an interesting prospect, Dalton Sprinkle. We know Javante's down to his last year of his contract. Do we maybe go running back in the first round? And they think we're going to take another running back. So yes, we do have 3 first-round picks. I don't know what I was thinking when I just said we didn't, but we do. Next, we get a free agency recap. So let's take a look at the big moves around the league, most of which are ones that we made. So we'll start with ours. Joe Burrow is the highlight, possibly of the entire free agent class. He is a Chicago Bear. Very excited to have him, just 27 years old. We get the GOAT kicker, Justin Tucker. Ed Oliver is going to boost our pass rush. L'Jarius Sneed should help mitigate the loss of Jalen Johnson. Definitely not the same level of player, but he will help. John Johnson will boost our secondary, and Jonah Jackson gives us a much-needed starter at guard. We just have one other hole to fill. Now let's look around the league. Nick Bosa is a Detroit Lion, very interesting. Jonathan Taylor is a Falcon. Justin Herbert, went one too far. The other stud quarterback, possibly even more enticing than Burrow. It's just he had no interest in us. It would have been much harder to bring him in. He goes to the Falcons, so him and Jonathan Taylor, two beasts from the 2020 draft class teaming up in Atlanta. That is exciting. Rashawn Gary heads over to Washington. Jeffrey Simmons as an Eagle, help their pass rush a lot. CeeDee Lamb as a 49er, assuming they still have Debo. That's exciting. Great duo they'll make. Bobby Wagner, the aging vet, is a Saint. T. Higgins heads to Seattle. Hopefully they have a quarterback by now to throw to him. Marquise Brown, he goes back to the Ravens after they traded him. Interesting. Michael Pittman is a Charger. Not sure who his quarterback will be, but he's headed out to LA. Miles Jack heads to the Vikings, so he'll be in our division now. J.K. Dobbins is a Lion, so that's interesting for sure. Chris Lindstrom, the guard, in hindsight, would love to have him. He's kind of our one missing piece. He just still doesn't like us, despite the fact that we have Burrow. He is a Giant. Brandon Ayuk is still out there. That's very interesting. Ed Oliver's ours, of course. Darius Slay still kicking. He's headed to Seattle to probably finish out his career. Tyler Higbee, the tight end, headed to Arizona. DJ Reader to the Vikings. DeAndre Swift to the Ravens. So it appears that the Ravens and the Lions have swapped, what was that, 2020 draft class running backs, I believe? Swift and Dobbins. Eric Kendricks going to the Bills. Jedrick Wills, the left tackle, to the Lions. The Lions have had a busy free agency. Shaq Thompson is still around, going to Kansas City. Cameron Curl is headed to the Chargers, very good safety. Kendrick Bourne is out here getting signed, while Brandon Ayuk is not. That's interesting. Fletcher Cox, also surprised to see him still around, headed to the Cardinals, as seems to be one of the places where aging vets like to end their careers. Darnell Savage to the Panthers. Darnell Mooney went to the Ravens. Best of luck to him. Dexter Lawrence to the Giants. A.J. Dillon also to the Ravens. That should be an interesting duo there. Brian Edwards to the Titans. Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, to the Jets. Van Jefferson to the Panthers. Jordan Fuller to the Bucks. James Bradbury also to the Lions. They were almost as busy as we were. And look, they get Desmond King as well. So it appears that us and the Lions are in a bit of an arms race to try and catch up to the Packers, who had a very surprising first year with their rookie quarterback. Okay. Oh, and Bryce Callahan, our corner from last year, is bouncing back and forth. He's back with the Broncos. Interesting. And before I do anything else, I know that we've got some scouting to do. We do have trade offers. Tevin Jenkins is one of them. And as of right now, I don't believe he's starting for us, so what can we get for him? It's not looking like much, unfortunately. Baltimore's offering us a guard. L. Craig, he's a 77 overall. That's intriguing. Might go take a further look at him. Other than that, Kansas City's offering Javon Kinlaw, but I'm okay with who we have at DT. Not really seeing a whole lot here. Let's get a closer look at Craig, the left guard from Baltimore. Let's see what he's got going on. Okay, so Landon Craig, he's 24 years old, 78 overall. He's got the day one starter tag. He still has 3 years left on his rookie contract, so I like that, actually. We're going to take that deal. And yes, we will accept. They throw in a 2025 7th round pick just to be nice. I'm very happy with this deal that we've made. So Landon Craig will step in right away. He will be our starting right guard. And that should about do it for our offensive line. That really eases that need heading into the draft. So next up is Javonte Williams. He has been very good for us. However, his rookie contract is up this year. He's going to want to get paid. What are teams willing to offer us for him? The Texans want to give us Brandon Cooks and 2/4. No thank you. The Patriots would like to send Greedy Williams a 2nd and a 4th. Not a horrible offer. Detroit is offering Jedrick Wills, who I believe they just signed. That's interesting. New York is sending us garbage. Miami would like to send us Byron Jones, Andrew Parrish, and a 2024 7th. The Colts are offering Stephon Gilmore, Paris Campbell, and a DT. I'm going to be honest, I am not really loving any of these. I think we hold on to Javonte. I think we give him one more year with us, see what he does, see what kind of money he wants. Maybe he's willing to be reasonable. You never know. I'm not completely ruling out paying the guy. We're not going to go full Patriots where everyone has to hit the market. So, yeah, I don't like these offers. Next up, we've got scouting private workouts. Before we do that, let's just take a quick look here. I have not done too much due diligence into the scouting. What are our serious positions of need? Draft Central seems to think center, middle linebacker, and right guard, but is that true? So first up, let's seriously assess this roster. They say center's our top need. Cody Whitehair is an 84 overall, but I don't know exactly how old he is at this point. So that is a very fair question to ask, I'm not going to lie. That's interesting. Also, he may be about up on his contract, so center, I definitely think, regardless, he's old, and his contract, I have a feeling, is coming due here soon. So he's someone I would like to look into replacing. Wide receiver is a sneaky need. I like our top two guys, Judy and Priester. Priester's a little bit unproven. Yeah, he was good as for a rookie, but he hasn't exactly had incredible success yet, although it's hard to do that when Justin Fields is throwing 20 touchdowns a season, only so many to go around. Maybe we go wide receiver 3, but we don't necessarily have to do that. Maybe we go guard. I mean, the guards aren't incredible by any means. We didn't exactly give up a lot for Craig. We gave up Tevin Jenkins, who was not in my good graces for most of the series thus far. And then looking at the defensive line, Barker should be starting for us. Barker he had hidden dev coming into last year. He's up to a 78 overall. He's still young. I'm not going to call it DT in need. However, maybe defensive end. Yannick is getting up there in age by now. He's probably 28, 29 at this point, so maybe we look that way. Maybe even free safety. I don't know how long we brought John Johnson in for. And corner could possibly be an area as well. We don't have any glaring needs. Let's look and see whose contracts are coming up again. So when I take a look at whose contracts are going to be up, wide receiver does jump out at me. Because with Jerry Jeudy, it's either we pay him or we let him walk next year. If we take a guy and he ends up really working out, then we have flexibility there. Let's say we draft a rookie, he goes off and Demarius Priester continues to excel, then Jerry Jeudy, we would feel a lot better walking out the door. So Jerry Jeudy is someone who we could potentially look at and say, is it time to look into your replacement? Same deal with Javonte Williams. If there's a stud running back whose numbers are really good, especially, someone who's 20, 21 years old, we can get on the cheap for the next 4 years. I don't see the harm in that. Isaiah Simmons is another player. He's 26. His rookie contract will be expiring. We picked up that 5th-year option, so maybe we go middle linebacker. Cody Whitehair, his contract will be up. He's 32 years old, so we're definitely going to want to go O-line somewhere. And Melvin Gordon, too. So Melvin Gordon and Khalil Herbert, I would say, yeah, running back, wide receiver, offensive line are going to be kind of my 3 main areas of focus here. And the good news is we don't have any major glaring needs, so we can afford to kind of look forward to the future and plan ahead with that. So we get to assign some private workouts here. I believe we get 3 of them, if I remember correctly from last year. Let's see who we want to give these private workouts to. So starting off with the running backs, Dalton Sprinkle is available. He is a power back, 6 foot, 230 pounds. I usually like a guy with a little bit more speed. He is 21. The age is a perk for sure. He's not slow by any means or in a 4.55. That's not terrible. His broad jump is good. His 3 cone. So he's agile for sure. So he's interesting. We might come back to him. The other running back projected to go in the first round is Von Rayford out of Vanderbilt. 5'8", 200 pounds, short guy. He's 22, and he is fast. A 4.4 40, not the strongest, but his 3-cone drill and his 20-yard shuttle, are elite. Whew, I really like him a lot. I don't know if we have to give him a private workout, though, to know that I like him. No, we'll come back to that. We've got several first-round wide receivers. The first is Caleb French. He is 23. I don't love that immediately. But how are the physicals? He's the 10th fastest. The 4.39 is still fast, don't get me wrong. But I don't love him. What I do like are players with speed. Next, we've got Kasim Dudley, 6'3", 197, went to LSU. And they've produced some great wide receivers. He's only 21. He ran a 4.53, though. I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on the 4.53. Who do we have next? Alex Johnson, 5'10", 186. He's a deep threat. Let's hope he's fast. Would like to see that. He's 23. A 4.27, very fast. Donovan DeBosa's next, 6 foot, 193, out of Alabama. Another school that's produced great wide receivers. He's 23, and he ran a 4.24. He is lightning fast. And the rest of his numbers, I mean, that's a stud right there. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and check on him a little bit further. And we're going to go back and go for Von Rayford. Speed kills in Madden, and we love the quick guys. So let's see what they've got. Let's see how they scout out for us. As for centers, there's only one guy projected to go in the first 2 rounds, and that's Roy Gentry, 22 years old, out of Tennessee. He is 6'5", 318 pounds, and his physicals are great, very strong, very fast, an elite athlete, so I like that. And when you look at the scouting report, we are his top fit. Remember, we've got multiple first-round picks, so even if we don't get that running back or the receiver, Roy Gentry should be available. So he's 75% scouted. Let's see if we can get him close to 100. Everyone's favorite day of the year, draft day, has arrived. The 2024 NFL Draft. What are we going to do with the number 1 overall selection? Let's find out. So the 3 guys that we scouted, none of them are projected top 5 picks. I would like to look into trading out of this pick. What kind of offers are we looking at here? So when I'm looking at the offers here, I would like to prioritize staying relatively high in the first round this year, while still picking up whatever major value we can still recoup. So with that being said, I'd like to stay in like the top 10, top 15, and see what else we can get beyond that. Because I'd like to get all 3 of our targets if we can. If not 2 out of the 3, that would be amazing. Cincinnati's offering 18. That's a little low for my liking. Tampa Bay, 22. The Texans are offering picks next year. The Vikings are offering number 3 overall, a 3rd, and a 6th. That's interesting. Tennessee is offering number 9 overall and a 1st next year. That is enticing for sure. Pittsburgh, no 1st this year. Seattle's offering a 1st this year, a 2nd, and a 7th. Okay. I'm just going to look through these here really quick. We'll point out any that we love. Washington's offering number 7 overall, a 2 and a 6. Number 9, a 2 and a 3. We're not trading with Green Bay. Number 2, a 3 and a 7. Number 4, a 2 and a 6. Number 5, a 2 and a 5. Picks next year. Number 27. Number 6 and a 2nd. Number 12, a 1st and a 3rd. That's interesting. We might come back to that one. 20's too low for my liking, as is 29. So I think we're going to go. So the Titans are offering number 9 and a future 1st. And the Colts are offering, Dallas is offering number 12, a 1st, and a 3rd. I think we're going to go, I know the 3rd is the difference maker, but Tennessee, number 9, I think could be the difference for us. We're going to go with that one. So we're trading down. We're picking up number 9 overall and the 28th pick. As of right now, it's going to be a 2025 1st. Good deal for us. I like that. And until we get to that 9th pick, we're going to take it slow. We're going to skip ahead here. Who does Tennessee take number 1 overall? They take a defensive end, Charles Colvin. Okay. The Lions at 2 are going to take Devin Leake, so we will get first-hand exposure to see how our guy out of Indiana State will perform in the NFL. The Vikings are next up at 3. They take another defensive end, Ben Stevenson. The Jets are at 4. They take a quarterback, Felix Logan. It appears the Zach Wilson era is over. The Jags are going to take a defensive end, Larry LeBlanc. The Eagles at number 6 take Nate Short, outside linebacker out of Louisville. Washington is up next at 7. And they take Sharif Minter, outside linebacker out of Oklahoma State. 1 pick left. The Seahawks are going to take... they get Caleb French. Wait, no, Caleb French isn't even the guy that I wanted. Why am I sighing at that? Never mind, I'm stupid. Okay, so all of our guys are still here. Who are we taking, though? So let's look at our draft board. The next time we pick is 17th. So who is most likely to still be there at that point? Let's just go down the list here. Still pretty far down. So Von Rayford is projected to be the first of our 3. No, excuse me, Donovan DeBose is. So we have, what? How many picks here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So I'm honestly thinking that both of these guys could still be, not both of them, but one of them. We're going to take one right now. I think the other will fall to us. I really do. So Von Rayford's only major weakness that I can tell is that the guy cannot catch to save his life. I mean, his catching is an F. I don't know how I feel about that, but for a guy as fast as he is, to have B trucking, I mean, this is like, I don't know Jonathan Taylor's exact measurables, but for a guy to be that fast and to be decently strong too, no wonder the Colts are his top fit. If we could get the next Jonathan Taylor here at number 9 overall, worth it. And then you've got Donovan DeBose. There are 2 wide receivers projected ahead of him, Kasim Dudley and Alex Johnson, neither of which we were overly fond of. So let's look at our guy here, Donovan DeBose. I like the name. We're listed as a fit for him. The age is definitely a detractor for him, I'm not going to lie. 23 is just a little old, but that speed is crazy. Let's look at his skills. Anything stick out? His medium route running is an F. I don't know how I feel about that. He's not going to break many tackles. His stiff arm's not great. He's got a crazy good spin move. His release is good. Catching traffic's decent. Spectacular catch is good. Oh, this is tough. Very tough. I think at the end of the day, though, the bigger need for us, or at least the bigger need we could possibly fill and get value back, if Von Rayford works out for us and we're able to get something for Javonte, we're going to go with Von Rayford here. This has been a very tough decision. Let's see how it plays out for us. So he's got normal dev. Don't love that. 95 acceleration, 94 speed. So he's very fast. We knew that. Okay, so that's the 9th overall pick, a running back. And now let's see if our receiver falls to us. So the Saints are up next, picking 10th. And they go with a linebacker. We like to see that. The Chargers are next at 11. They go with a DT, so wide receivers are falling for sure. Defensive end to the Cowboys. This is good news. Trent Sears, the right guard, is next off the board. Eddie Bowers, the middle linebacker, is gone. Kasim Dudley, the wide receiver. And then one more pick. Sammy DeMonchi out of Ohio State, the right tackle we were projected to possibly take. I think they had us taking him number 1 overall. Okay, so now do we go wide receiver here? The only thing possibly holding me back is Roy Gentry. And the reason I say that is, again, this guy's numbers are just crazy good. And I mean, just look across the board. Stamina's a weakness, sure, but his blocking is good. His awareness is good. He is just overall a very solid prospect. I mean, mid-first round pick, very nice center prospect. Reminds me of Ryan Kelly, to be honest with ya. I don't know. I'm a little bit torn at this point. I'm not going to lie. He is projected to go between rounds 1 to 2. And we pick again at 25. Do I risk it? He's the top center on the board is the only thing. How many wide receivers are left on the board? You've got Alex Johnson and Donovan DeBose. We already went with a skill player. We know that we have to replace center at some point. We've got Jerry Jeudy. We've got Demarius Priester. I think we're going to switch it up here. I really think Roy Gentry is the move. And maybe Donovan DeBose falls to us. If we take Alexander Johnson, we can always try and trade back up because I think he'll get taken first. So yeah, we're going to go with Roy Gentry here. See how that works out. And he's got hidden dev. I like to see that. Okay, good. Very positive sign for us. I'm happy with this selection. I really am. Okay, now let's see if our receiver can fall to us in these next few picks. The Bengals are going with a quarterback. They get their Joe Burrow replacement, Matthew Stanley. The Giants go cornerback. Okay. The Colts are going to go. They lost Michael Pittman, but they go with a left tackle. Okay. The Cardinals, they go with Alex Johnson. Okay. At this point, do we look into trading up? I think we do. I really like that receiver. Let's try and do it here. Okay, so to move up just a few spots, all it's going to cost is we're going to swap our first round picks and we will throw them a third round pick in next year's draft. But we have traded up with the Bucs. We are now on the clock. So let's get our guy, Donovan DeBose, the 22nd overall pick. He's fallen down the board a little bit. Deep threat out of Alabama. What do we get? He's got hidden dev. And oh my goodness, look at that speed and acceleration. We thought Demarius Priester was fast. It's going to be a track meet at our games, bro. This is crazy. You give Joe Burrow these two speedy receivers and Jerry Jeudy, game over, man. Very pleased with this selection. Very glad we traded up for him. In all honesty, he would have been worth the number 9 overall pick. But regardless, we get him. Absolute steal. Now, we don't pick again until the 3rd. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to that. See who we might want to take there. Regardless, though, I'm very happy with how our first 3 picks went. I'm thrilled with 2 of them. And the running back, we'll see. At the very least, we don't need him to be great. We've got Javonte. But we'll see on him. The dev trait just has me down a little bit, I won't lie. But anyways, round 3, pick 17. Who are we taking here? Okay, so just looking through the prospects here, one guy did catch my eye, Quincy Mooney. He's a linebacker, and we might have a need there with Isaiah Simmons' contract coming up. I just don't know if we'll be able to afford him. This guy has A-zone coverage, and when I look at his physicals, he's fast. Here in a 4.59, third for outside linebackers, so decent speed. Good 3-cone drill, 20-yard shuttle. And his skills across the board, he's got some weaknesses for sure, but I think with what we would ask him to do, he's at least worth taking a swing on here in the 3rd. Despite the fact that he's 23, he's coming out of Alabama, and he gives us a new Mooney. Mooney's a cool last name. We'll miss having that around. And he's got hidden dev. Let's go. 84 speed, 91 acceleration. Okay. Very happy with this pick. Next up, we pick in the 4th round, and I've got to say so far, I'm loving this draft class. I don't know if I'm getting lucky or if the hidden dev traits are just a little bit overinflated this year. I genuinely am not sure. Regardless, we're having a great draft class. I'll say that much. So I'm just going position by position here. This guy is projected to go undrafted. However, at this point, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm happy with how our draft has gone. So even if it's a bit of a reach, I'm just looking for guys who have, some A's and B's across the board, just not a whole lot of F's. And when I look at Alan Sharp, he's got potential for sure. And then when I go look at him further, his physicals, he grades out pretty well there as well. I mean, really good 3-cone drill, really good 20-yard shuttle. He's decently strong. It might be a bit of a reach, but we're going to go for it. He's got normal dev. That's fine. In the 4th round, we can afford to swing on these guys and possibly miss. We at least have some depth there now, which, given how the first 2 years have gone, we clearly needed. Let's move on to our next pick. And our next pick is going to come in the 5th round, number 17 overall. At this point, I really would just like to start trading down. I don't have any guys scouted. I don't have anyone on my list. So it's just kind of a matter of cycling through and seeing who might be worth something at this point. Okay, so Keelan Brackett is a guy who has A to C block shedding. Not only that, but he's strong too. 37 reps on the bench. Not bad numbers across the board. Let's give him a chance. Normal dev, we don't know a whole lot else. 90 strength. At the very worst, he's depth. Could be a possible backup DT. You never know. And honestly, at this point, guys, I know it's probably not the greatest thing to do. We're going to sim to the end of the draft. I genuinely don't care how the rest of the draft goes. I'm happy with who we've got. Haven't done my homework on the late round guys. This is Madden, after all. So let's see how the draft played out. Okay, so going into our draft recap here. Our 2024 rookies have signed their contracts. Now we should be able to get a good look at their overalls. And Von Rayford, our first selection, he's actually a 79 overall. Wow, okay. So we can work with that. Normal dev aside, it could be a lot worse. It could definitely be a lot worse. Roy Gentry, for how excited I was, he's just a 73. But the good news is he doesn't have to start right away. He can get some reps, I guess. But definitely he's someone we're going to focus on in training. Donovan DeBose is a 75 overall. He will immediately be our wide receiver 3. So that gives our offense a whole new element that we're definitely going to take advantage of. Quincy Mooney, the linebacker, is a 71. Okay, we can work with that. Outside of that, not a whole lot to be excited for. We did take a late round quarterback, Dwight Olsen. Maybe he'll be our backup. But yeah, I'm happy with how the draft went. I really am. However, I do want to see Leak, the quarterback out of Indiana State, the guy who could have been. How did he turn out for the Lions? He's a 76 overall. Okay. 74 speed, 80 acceleration. How are the rest of his stats? Specifically how it pertains to being a quarterback. 97 throw power, bro. Wow. Okay. Good stats elsewhere across the board, but the guy has got a cannon. He's not a strong arm for nothing. Normal dev, though. Don't love that. But, man, Devin Leak could give us some trouble here. And now that the draft is over, let's just take a quick look here at what is likely going to be our Week 1 starting roster. So it starts with Joe Burrow. He's a 99 overall. Enough said there. We're running the Bengals playbook, so he should be right in his element. And he should be comfortable because the offensive line is very good. We've got both tackle spots sorted out. We've got a really good rookie starting center. The receiving core is great. You've got Jerry Jeudy as a established stud at this point. Demarius Priester is coming off a great rookie year, incredibly fast. You've got DeBose, the incoming rookie, who's even faster. A great running back trio here. Rayford is probably going to be the backup behind Javonte, and unfortunately Melvin Gordon, I don't think we're going to be able to get anything for him, so he's going to be our RB3 with his contract expiring next offseason. And not to mention the tight end duo. Don't discount Evan Ingram and Cole Kmet. So Burrow's got a line and he's got weapons. That's your offensive side of the ball. And then you shift things over to the defense, and this line should give quarterbacks problems for sure. Ed Oliver should add a whole new element to both our run defense and our pass rush, and this line is backed up by what I would say could be the best linebacking core in the league, certainly top 5. The secondary is very good. You add John Johnson, Jaquan Brisker's a stud. We brought in Snead in free agency, so our cornerbacks, even though we took a hit, we're still going to be okay there. So you have what I think potentially could be the best offense in the NFL, dare I say, with a defense that I also think could be very good. And, you know, that's how you get the 87 overall rating. This is going to be, I truly believe, one of the best teams in the league this year. Now, the offseason was lengthier than most, and I know we're running pretty long at this point, so here is where we're going to cut it off. Now, in the next part, you're going to get the full preseason, the full regular season, and hopefully, we don't know yet, obviously, but hopefully a deep playoff run. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, of course, please like the video, comment, let me know your thoughts. I reply to just about everyone, as you can see from my previous videos. So any questions you might have, any feedback is greatly appreciated. I take everything, into consideration when I'm making these videos. And if you haven't already, if you like the content, please subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from. Thank you guys again, and I will see you on the next video.